Question of the day, is Treason, the latest spy thriller from Netflix, worth 3 hours of your hard-earned time? Well, stay right here, it's review time. My reviews are a little bit different. They're not told from a viewer's perspective, but from the perspective of a program maker, a TV director. Yes, that's me. I make TV shows. This is a look at the tricks and tips that writers and directors use to get you engaged. If you're interested in a TV professional's thoughts on how a TV show is actually made, you're in the right place. Perhaps you want to direct. Are you on a media or film course, or are you just fascinated in television and film? You're still in the right place. Penned by the Bridge of Spies writer Matt Charman, is a 5-episode limited series. All episodes are now available on Netflix. Why do they use the term limited series? It comes from the term limited edition. You know, like an artist just printing 500 copies of his latest piece of work, becoming all the more valuable for it. In television terms, it's not like you're going to get up to 10,000 views and take it off Netflix. Doesn't make any sense. The basic plot, with no spoilers, reading from Netflix's own blurb. An MI6 deputy's bright future takes a sharp turn after a reunion with a Russian spy forces him to question his entire life. After a tricky turn of events, a young dad becomes the head of MI6 at the time of an election. I'm surprised the UK audience didn't turn off, because we've had enough of elections and leadership battles. But anyway, enough of that. It appears the election is being influenced, so very topical there. We don't know by whom. As the plot progresses, it turns out the baddies could be the Russians, the CIA, or even MI6 themselves. Typically in an election, there's a good candidate and a bad candidate, each one being supported by a different faction. And in a non-too-original plot device, some files hold the key, and thankfully they're not on a USB. They're in those lovely manila legal folders with a little bit of string that holds them all together. All very British. But phew, towards the end of the series, they do actually get digitised onto the largest portable hard drive I've ever seen, and our man has to find the files. Let's get to the brilliance of the screenplay. Notoriously, the hardest part of any drama is the opening. You know, how do you introduce the characters? How do you introduce what the plot's going to be? And this is absolutely brilliantly done. In the old days, a hook used to be defined as a fight and a in the first 5 minutes, but that's old money. Today we have about 18 seconds to draw your attention in, and the way Matt Charman does this is a masterstroke. Budding screenwriters, take note. Episode 1 opens and it's nighttime. There's a cottage in the middle of nowhere and the silhouette of a man. The music is tense and dark. Close-ups of an assassin's rifle being assembled. We see a man and a woman in a standing embrace through the window. We cut inside and she asks, "Can we fix this?" "We have to," is the reply. We see the crosshairs of the assassin's rifle finding his target. It plays across the man and the woman who will be the victim. The music rises as we hear the click of a door. And then a young boy appears, carrying his teddy bear. The crosshairs land on him. The rifle is ready for the shot, finger on the trigger. The music reaches its final crash, and we cut to a caption. 5 days earlier, the dad that we've just seen in the embrace is now at a school giving a talk, and clearly his son is in the audience. All very cute. We instantly empathise with him. But in 1 minute and 1 second, using a family, an assassin, a boy with a teddy, a lonely located remote cottage, and a simple caption, we're all hooked. Well, I was. Now, a little bit of theory here. We know there are only 7 stories that have ever been told. Overcoming the Monster, Rags to Riches, The Quest, Voyage and Return, Comedy, Tragedy and Rebirth. And this, we're in Overcoming the Monster territory. Who on earth would assassinate a little boy carrying a teddy? Only a monster. We know our protagonists are good people. They are hugging. They are in this together. The line, "Can we fix this?" Not "can you fix this?" but "can we fix this?" is a classic. It sets us up for this unit fighting the monsters. It's an orphan warrior hero story. I often talk about this. We set our protagonists up as orphans. They're lonely. They're against the world. And then eventually they become a warrior as they fight their way through the situation and ultimately turn into a hero. They've won. Or even if they've lost, they're still a hero, because we all love a trier. That opening, 1 minute and 1 second, is storytelling at its best. As I said, the plot is centred on the run-up to an election, and there's some all too familiar touch points here. External interference to get the favoured candidate in, but the questions we're being set Is it the Russians, the CIA, or the MI6 doing the interfering? Or is it a group of terrorists that has yet to be revealed? Also, there's a lone Russian. Russians always cast as the baddies. They interfere in elections, don't they? And then it becomes clear she's got some previous with our lovely, cuddly dad, the MI6 officer. Perhaps he's not all he seems. That's as much as I want to reveal because there's no spoilers in any of this. If you watch more of my reviews, you'll soon find out that I go on about Orphan Warrior Hero an awful lot. There's a great deal of power behind this Orphan Warrior Hero journey, and I think every story ever told in the world actually follows the Orphan Warrior Hero model. I can apply Orphan Warrior Hero to almost any genre of any show anywhere in the world. Take a quiz show like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That contestant walks on, they're in a gladiatorial arena, they're an orphan, they're picked out by a spotlight, and then they sit in the chair and they start answering questions. They become a warrior, batting the questions off, and then hopefully they become a hero and win some money at the end of it. And even if they don't, as I say, we all love a trier, so they're a hero in our eyes. Star Wars, even Top Gear, there's countless Orphan Warrior Hero stories that I can go on about, but you'll have to subscribe to find out more. A little word about the cast in Treason. Charlie Cox of Spider-Man fame plays Adam Lawrence, our lead, and he's perfectly cast. Una Chaplin plays his wife Maddie, and she's very, very good in the role. Olga Kurilenko is fantastic. She's our lone Russian. Is she a goodie or is she a baddie? We don't know. What we do know is that she's a very good actress, comes from the Ukraine originally, and is a former Bond girl. Kieran Hines is the temporarily indisposed boss of MI6, which is why our main protagonist, the dad, Adam Lawrence, gets to be the youngest boss of MI6 ever. And I'm not going to reveal all of that because it all happens in episode 1 and it's really cool. And the wonderful Alex Kingston is our MP. We assume she's the goodie. She's currently the Home Secretary, but she wants to make a play for being Prime Minister. And a shout out to the rest of the family, the 2 kids. Bo Gaddison plays the daughter of the family. She, I guess, is about 14 or 15. And Samuel Leakey, Callum Lawrence, he's the young kid with the teddy bear. Will he survive? Well, you'll have to watch to find out. On to the things that I didn't like. In my opinion, there's an issue with the level of anxiety exhibited when a character is taken by one of the baddies. I thought this was the weakest part of the plot. Most people would have been beside themselves. I suspect the writer would say, yeah, but they're all professionals. But for me, it felt very strange. One of the things I really loved was the technology. Often in these spy dramas, the technology is sort of slightly more advanced than we all know it really is at. I want technology that is like the technology we all know and love. Phone calls that drop out, audio that crackles, tracking devices that stop, stutter and start again. And that was all incorporated into the plot of this. So I found the technology real and highly believable, which is kind of key when you're talking about a spy drama. Time for my real opinion. I was hooked in that first 1 minute. If you loved Spooks on the BBC, which I really loved, or The Bodyguard, you're going to really like this. 5 episodes, all about 40 minutes in duration. I was glad to give my 3 hours of time to this. It isn't silly, it's mature, it'll probably never happen, but has it? If you want to hear more about the inside workings of television, or maybe you're looking at a career in television, there's some more videos, and all you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can get all of that right here, right now.